Look, I bet your SDRs aren't hitting quota. This is obviously a topic of great passion from me. So while we've had lots of people today talk about sales leadership and strategy and utilizing AI, I'm just going to take us back to basics for a minute. The reason I chose the topic of I bet your SDRs are not hitting quota is because more likely they're not than they are. Now, just to be clear, I'm not a betting man. I don't actually gamble, so I'm not really challenging you to a bet. However, if I did gamble, this would absolutely be a surefire way of decreasing my chances of losing my money. And I think it's really important to just state that, this is on the average person. You may well have reps doing exceptionally well. So I guess why am I so confident that your reps are probably not hitting quota? Well, look, first and foremost, independent research tells us that they're not. Bridge Group report, which we've had referenced today several times, says that 4% of people hit 100% more of their target in their SDR roles. 96% of SDR roles didn't hit 100% of their target last year. 20%, just 20%, are hitting 80% or more of their quota as a team. And my own experience in helping countless organizations build out sales development or fix sales development internally within their organizations, or helping them to build them externally, are that the majority of people don't have reps who are hitting target. And the funny thing is, there's loads of common themes as to why, and a lot of it is our fault. In fact, as sales leaders, it's probably all our fault. I want to play something out to you. When I ask sales development managers or VPs of sales or whoever it might be, how many meetings does an average SDR in your team book every month? I get one of two answers. Either the most common answer, don't really know, I'll have to come back to you. That's a problem in itself, right? But when I do get an answer, the average answer is somewhere between 15 and 20, right? It ranges depending on sector and enterprise, mid-market, all that sort of stuff. But somewhere between 15 and 20 is where the average falls. However, 100% of the time, when I've been allowed to dig into that and look under the surface, that answer, whatever it might be, let's say it was 15, is actually their top performing rep. Because as sales leaders, what we do is look at the fact that we've got an exceptional talent in our team who's hitting a number. That's the number that we remember. What we don't do is acknowledge that we're yet to build a repeatable engine. Our sales development org is founded on human talent. It's founded on one person doing exceptionally well and everybody else having the ability to follow. But of course, that's not replicable. So as sales leaders, we focus on the number that we like. What we don't do is look at the points of failure that are surrounding that person's achievement. So what we have now is an epidemic of underachieving SDRs. We've had it for a long time and it's getting worse. And what we also have is a whole heap of change coming. We heard Elaine this morning talk about how the future of SDR is a focus on conversion rather than quantity. And we're not keeping up. And as I've already said, guess what? It's entirely our fault. So I'm just going to give you 10 things that I hope you can take away from today and start to think about when you look at your internal sales development orgs and structures, things that you could be getting wrong. Number one, quotas are almost always too high. So what I see is that people set targets based on what one person achieves in isolation, or they set targets based on optimistic guesswork, or based on what they need their reps to achieve to hit their overarching revenue growth budget, regardless of whether it's possible or not. Or worse still, I'm still seeing sales leaders set quota based on what they used to be able to do back in the day. Well, that's an issue, right? We have to give people realistic targets that help motivate them to stretch, but don't demotivate them by being so far ahead of what's possible. Number two, we have to acknowledge that the average age of an SDR has reduced significantly. Limited life and commercial experience in the role, yet we've seen management has reduced in standard and average age and life experience as well. We need to build a strategy to hire more experienced reps into our team so that our youthful, younger, less experienced reps have people directly to learn from. Number three, your training and enablement process is almost always non-existent. Sometimes it's poor, occasionally it's average. What we know is that reps require and are demanding more training and more coaching than ever before. And you have to invest in their development, yet we're still seeing organizations ignore that far too often. We have to accept that it's likely that even if we invest in them, they'll leave within 12 to 18 months. And we've heard that a few times today. But the outcome of not doing it is still far worse. Number four, SDR managers and coaches are almost always SDRs who have done well. And the problem we've got is that that's happening faster than ever. So the expectation now is that you can be a great SDR for 9 months, 12 months, 15 months, and you can be promoted into an SDR manager role. What that leaves is managers with limited experience who are accountable for a team of SDRs with limited experience. And you can see how this multiplication theory works. They've also got a limited time to coach and develop. And they've got like a forever conveyor belt like team as they have to replace people who are getting promoted too fast. So we've got to think about the management of SDRs as well. Number 5, your hiring process is not fit for purpose. Again, the great thing about going towards the end of the day is loads of people have already agreed with me, which is great. Companies have been so focused on the vanity of headcount targets to please investors, to show that they're growing, to show that they're building top of funnel opportunities, that the sanity of hiring the right person or the right people is gone. And we're starting to see that come back. Don't ever be driven by headcount goals. Be driven by hiring the right person at all times, because we're better to have an empty seat than we are to have a seat filled with the wrong person. Number 6, you're teaching reps way too many things too early. It's complete overcomplication. Now, I will acknowledge the fact that we need to give reps the right tools, and we've heard about so many amazing tools today, but reps now have to master email, copywriting, creative messaging, cold calling, data research tools, how to build a sequence. And trust me, it doesn't matter how many steps you have in your sequence. If your messaging's crap, they've got to master data, insight, how to, create a GIF of a dog with 3 tennis balls in its mouth, just because somebody somewhere decided that these were exceptional skills and really cool things that reps would need to do to be successful. But they're doing that before they've developed the skill to actually talk to people properly, with the right tone of voice, with empathy, with commercial credibility and instincts that allow them to adapt in a conversation. We've got to slow down as leaders. We've got to set the tone that we need to get the basics right. If you think about sport, a footballer doesn't go out and learn the Cruyff turn on day one. They learn how to control the ball first. A cricketer doesn't learn a googly. They learn how to catch the ball or throw the ball. We start with the basics and then we layer on top. Number 7, fear of the phone. Yeah, I talk about this a lot. The only place to start with a new SDR at early stage career is with the phone. They learn more through those two-way conversations than they would on any other channel where it's one way. And they develop skills that are far more valuable across other channels that they can utilize in the future. We now have teams, or we see teams, who are genuinely ignoring the phone entirely. And I can't quantify it other than perhaps the sales leader is scared of it, the reps are scared of it, and so they're feeding into each other. Yet the data tells us, again, looking at things like the Bridge Group report, that the teams who adopt a phone-first approach are still winning. They're winning over those that don't in terms of number of quality conversations every day. Number 8, active selling time. Liam this morning from Sixth Sense talked about this, how salespeople are spending 32% of their time actually selling. If you look at HubSpot's research, it suggests that it's under 50%. Look, either way, guys, it's not enough. Reps are spending time procrastinating, deciding who to call next, or more likely who to send a picture of their pet rabbit or something stupid like that. They're in internal meetings. They're building sequences. They're sitting on beanbags in the breakout area. Don't know what they're doing, but they're not spending enough time selling. And we're allowing that to be a part of our culture. The other day, I genuinely spoke to a rep who thought it was okay and acceptable to spend 30 minutes crafting a cold email. We have to get our reps being more productive, and we have to get them spending more time actively selling, because we as leaders have a responsibility to show them how that would work. Remove all tasks that get in the way of selling. And that leads me to number 9, reps building data. We've got reps building the data and the companies they should be targeting. A company's leadership should be deciding on their ICP and providing reps with the majority of their data that they then target. Imagine what a rep could do with that time back, for starters. But secondly, your target list forms part of your strategy. That's a connect and sell hat tip right there. Why would you let a 21-year-old or a 22-year-old SDR with limited life experience decide on who your ICP is? So we need to invest in data and tools and target our reps at the best prospect and give them the opportunity to go at those. They need to be talking to the people who are most likely to buy more of the time. And then my final point, number 10, culture and structure. We've got work from home, work from Ibiza, work from your bedroom, work from the garden, work from your mum's house, unlimited leave for 22-year-olds, 23-year-olds. It's gone insane. we have to adapt to the environment that we're in, which allows for far more flexibility now. But we have to recognize that we've got a reduced accountability and commercial awareness in reps compared to what we've had in the past, and an underexposure to leaders in the office and that sort of stuff and across other departments because of remote work. We've got to be managing by outcome, by process, and not by outcome. We're giving reps far too much freedom for far too early in their career. Reps need structure, and they need to be guided through every part of the process. So what do you need to do? Well, I suppose you could do nothing. Maybe you're one of the 4% whose reps are on average hitting target 100% of the time, but most likely you're not. So I just hope that you can take one or two of these things away and maybe address them or have a look at them or review them within your organization.